Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. ECOWAS formalizes exit of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso grants visa-free movement. The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has officially recognized the withdrawal of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso from the regional bloc, effective January 29, 2025, following the expiration of a one-year notice period. Despite their exit, ECOWAS has requested member states to continue recognizing the national passports of these three countries bearing the ECOWAS logo until further notice. The bloc also urged members to maintain visa-free movement, residence, and establishment rights for citizens of existing nations, as well as uphold trade and investment policies under the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. ECOWAS emphasized that its doors remain open for future engagement with the three countries and has established a structure to facilitate discussions on the modalities of their future relationship. The bloc decision aims to avoid disruptions to the lives and businesses of citizens during this transition period. The three nations, now governed by military juntas, has accused ECOWAS of being overly influenced by France and have since formed the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, aligning themselves with countries like Russia, Turkey, and Iran. The departure of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso marks a significant shift in West African geopolitics, raising questions about the future of ECOWAS. The three countries celebrated their exits with public gatherings reflecting a growing sentiment of regional realignment. ECOWAS, however, remains committed to regional solidarity and has called for a continued cooperation and support for officials from the exiting countries in their assignment for the community. Now, joining us this morning is Dr. Sammy Anistar, the Fellow Institute of Leadership and Strategic Studies. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's my pleasure.
All right. So Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they're all out. And of course, this was a huge developing story that happened for a long time. And finally, January 29 is here. So the expiration of even the one-year date that was given to them, is over. But what is your reaction to this? The fact that as of right now, ECOWAS is known as, the state, the economic state or the economic body for most of these countries. And some countries are saying they want to leave and they want to have that military regime instead of democracy that you would expect in 2024 everybody's looking into. But these countries are saying, no, we would rather have the military because we feel ECOWAS is over-influencing us and we do not want that. What is your reaction to this, even before we dive right in?
Well, it's an interesting development. We have been watching this evolve since last year. And one of the things we cannot deny is the dynamics of geopolitics around the world is shifting. A lot has happened in the past 2 years. But now, coming to ECOWAS bloc, when the three Sahel states decided to align and join forces against a common enemy, I had said that ECOWAS as a body have little or nothing to do in trying to stop them. We can just have these talks as we have it, but they make decisions for themselves because they didn't just get up to begin to do what they are doing. They are reacting to something. There are triggers around them that they are reacting to. And their alliances with Russia, with Iran, and Turkey is a clear demarcation, showing that this is where they tilt to, and they are trying to secure themselves from economic hardship and also continuous influence of France. So when ECOWAS decided to take a side with the Western nations, it's very obvious that we are going to be where we are today. But then my reaction to this is that this is a very good play out of diplomacy from ECOWAS. Their reaction is they are moving in the right direction, being willing and ready to continue, our open communication, interactions, trade, and movement across borders within the neighboring countries is a very good development, well calculated movements, and it's also going to reduce the impact of these decisions among the citizens, even as we watch the geopolitics develop and the outcomes of whatever decision that had been made. There being military rule notwithstanding, is a time of, the nations are evolving. They are trying to come to the ground where they can that they can be able to play. You see, you cannot blame them for all that, for any action they take now, especially being ruled by the military, because they are trying to cut down on the running of government, making decision influences and lobbies, and every other thing that comes with democracy. Not a lot of it is what helps the people, not how beautiful the name of the system is, but what helps the people at the state, the present place where they are right now. I do not in any way support the military rule, or regime change like that. But then, if we watch the case of Burkina Faso and what's playing out in Mali, you could agree with me that there's a little bit, of movement in their economy and also improvement in the life of ordinary people in those countries. Vis-a-vis when they were looking at France and paying colonial tax, doing everything they were asked to do by the books, and how they have been overly used by IMF and World Bank and all the measures that, when you push somebody to the wall, they react. So I think ECOWAS have taken a very good stand under the leadership of dear President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. This is a very good play out of diplomacy. They are our brothers, they are our neighbors. We cannot close our doors
to them.
We're still open to talks. We watch what happened with Brexit, when Britain said, no, we don't want to be in EU again. We want to stay ourselves. I mean, they are sovereign nations. They have rights, to treaties and bodies, whether regional, global. You have right to say, no, I can be part of this, or I am not part of this. The most important thing in international politics or relations is that first, the nationhood, you choose what favors you. So at this point, this is where they are.
All right.
This is where they are.
Okay.
And
yeah. So we understand that this is where they are, but how does this decision now impact the integration of, all the efforts that ECOWAS has been working on for decades? So, of course, having that block, ensuring that everybody's together, the trade, the investments, the fact that we can open our doors and our borders and people can even move, immigrate, right? That whole work, that whole integration effort that ECOWAS has worked on over the years, how does this decision affect it right now with them leaving?
Well, the impact is two ways, but the thing is with the decision that ECOWAS are taking right now, I do not see, a direct, I do not see a direct negative impact on ECOWAS, because we still have free trades going on across the borders, as long as they have their national passport with ECOWAS logo on it, which they are going to continue to have over a period of 5 to 10 years, because until the passports expires, you won't phase them out. So trade and business will continue to move as it's moving, as they talk. The thing about diplomacy is that it must not end in one day. We see the dynamics changing with the arrival of President Trump in international politics. So much is going to push around, even with the relationship with Russia, Turkey, and Iran. Yeah, there are so many adjustments coming on board, and that also gives ECOWAS a two-way, adjustment in relationships. If you observe during the inauguration of the newly elected president of Ghana, you could see that Torre de Jota from Burkina Faso was there, and he was warmly welcomed by these ECOWAS presidents, which means that there's a relationship going on.
Yeah.
We are part of ourselves. And like I said, the most important thing should be being ready and willing to cooperate and associate with member nations and our neighbors, the regional bloc, building whatever we are building, not just with ECOWAS, but also with Africa. What we are looking at is Pan-African, one Africa that is strong, one Africa that is able to come to the table with one voice and do, what we are supposed to do. So whether they have called themselves Alliance of the Sahel States or they are still part of ECOWAS, whatever the name goes by, it does not change the fact that we are still neighbors. We share common borders. Trade will continue. Movements will continue. Alliances will continue. We may not be members of the same umbrella with name. Those are nomenclatures. But as long as we are open to each other to assess whatever, I mean, if up till now China and America still sits on the table to discuss what benefits them, Russia and the United States and even Europe sits on, even when the war is going on, they discuss. That's diplomacy. So I think whatever is important to ECOWAS that will benefit the Alliance of the Sahel States, they should have the freedom to discuss it and have an understanding. The days of colonialism are over, my sister. We cannot continue to pretend. We need to design democracy that favors us. It's a topic we continue to raise among African nations. We must not practice democracy that is imported from Europe or imported from America or the type that everyone. So we need to have an African-grown democracy, the democracy that answers to our questions. You see, our international foreign policies should be policies that favor our development and that have positive economic impact on the states, member states. This is a very good development. Especially I'm very happy, especially the way ECOWAS have taken it. The tone has melted down from invasion, from sending soldiers to go and force them. They are not puppy nations; they are sovereign nations.
Dr. Sam?
They want to be...
Yeah.
Pardon?
Sorry. So I'm sorry that I have to just butt in here because we really have to go and we have about 30 seconds. But I want to ask this pertinent question. With the exit of these three countries, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, is it going to now set a precedent for other countries who might say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with these policies from ECOWAS, so I want to leave as well? What trajectory are we going to see? What trend is this going to set going forward?
Okay, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
My projection is that there are still going to be some form of alliances and also coming together of these three nations. They don't want to exist in isolation. Nobody wants to exist in isolation. This is the age and time we live in is an age and time of globalization. So I don't think member states of ECOWAS are living. They have no reason to do that. They could discuss whatever policy that they are not comfortable with. They can extricate themselves from whatever treaties they are not comfortable with. But I don't think we are going to see exits.
All right.
Instead, I think, with the way things are setting up right now, ECOWAS being willing to recognize sovereignty and discuss with member nations, I think we are going to see even a more healthy relationship coming up among the ECOWAS nations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been a very good and insightful interview. Thank you, Dr. Sammy, for coming. It's been a pleasure having you on our program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, sir.
All right. God bless you.
You too. All right, so we're speaking with Dr. Sammy Anistar. He's a fellow Institute of Leadership and Strategic Studies, and we've just been discussing the fact that ECOWAS has formalized the exit of Mali and Niger and Burkina Faso and grants visa-free movement, I beg your pardon. This is where we have to say goodbye on The Breakfast this morning. Thank you so much for having The Breakfast with me. My name is Rume. Paulson. I'll see you again on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Good morning.